Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and yes, we're gonna have the first episode, video, whatever you want to call it, on the newly released Ben Hardy Show. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about car payments and how much your car payment should be on a new car. And I'm actually gonna be using my situation right now with this 2019 Ram 1500 Rebel to kind of give you guys an idea of, what I personally do when I'm budgeting for a new car, but then I'm gonna give kind of, my overall advice on what I think that you should do budget-wise on a new vehicle. So first, let's get into a couple facts and figures. Most of this, by the way, is coming from the US Bureau and then Kelley Blue Book in terms of these numbers that I'm going to give you guys so that I can obviously give credit to these sources. So I believe it was Kelley Blue Book that said the average new transaction price for a vehicle in the United States is about $37,000. It was like 36 and some change, so it was almost $37,000. And the average new car payment is about $520 a month, $530, somewhere in that range. And then the reason that I went and looked over some stuff on the US Bureau is the average income in the United States for one person is about 46 and some change. It was like almost $47,000 a year, which if you divide that by 12 months equates to about $3,900 a month. And then if you divide the average car payment, which is, $520 into that $4,000 a month, you get roughly around 15% a month. It's, about 14% and some change. But you get about 15% a month income going towards a car payment. And that's what most sources will recommend you in terms of a car payment, is to be around, 15% of your monthly income. This is where I'm going to deviate and say I don't necessarily agree with that. And yeah, let's get into that. Now, this is where I'm going to disagree a little bit with sources. I don't necessarily agree with that 15% of your income going towards a car. However, I've got to first explain, how you actually get to a car payment. There's a number of factors that will determine how much your car payment actually will be. And that needs to be understood before we go into what I say you should budget for car-wise. Now, credit is obviously going to be taken into account with the car payment. Down payment will be taken into account. The length of loan term, and then obviously how much money the car is that you were planning on purchasing. And when I'm going over stuff in this video, I'm assuming a traditional finance. I'm not assuming lease purchase or anything like that. So just traditional financing. Now, obviously if your credit score is really high, so you have a really good credit score, and typically with most lenders, above 700, 720, 730, that usually somewhere in that range is usually where if you're above that score, then you're, top tier essentially. And then in terms of down payment, this varies all the time with how much money people actually put down. Me personally, I recommend 10 to 20% down on a vehicle, especially if you're buying a new vehicle. And the reason I recommend that is new vehicles, with how much they depreciate, this will help it so that you're not going to be in a situation where you owe more on the vehicle than what it is worth. And then term, obviously you can do a whole number of terms. The shortest term that I usually see is 24 months. I believe you can get a 12-month, but I've never actually done one of those. The shortest term I usually see on an auto loan is 24 months, all the way up to 96 months I've even seen. And I've seen some places that have said that they've done a loan for 108 months, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But most auto loans seem to sit in that 60 to 84 month range, typically is what I see most people just do on that side of things in terms of obviously the range. And then, the vehicle price is finally going to affect how much your payment's going to be. If you are buying a more expensive vehicle, the more money you spend, the higher the payment's going to be, because you're financing more money. So now that we know, what factors determine what a payment is going to be, a rule of thumb that I do to get like a quick estimate on what I think a payment's going to be is I usually say about every $1,000, or sorry, not $1,000, but $5,000 that you finance is going to be about $100 a month. Now, obviously there's going to be some things that will change this. If you go longer term, or if you have a better credit score, then that will kind of make this vary from side to side. Could make it go a little bit higher, could make it go a little bit lower, but $100 for every $5,000 you finance is a pretty good rule of thumb. And for example, my personal truck, I financed just over $30,000 originally on this truck, and my payment's $570 a month. So yeah, not exactly $100 for every $5,000 financed, but it's pretty dang close. Now, what I personally think in terms of budget for a new vehicle is definitely not that 15% number of your income. I feel like that's just a little bit too high. And the reason being is there's other costs that are associated with purchasing a new car. There is insurance cost, for example, there's gas costs, there's maintenance costs. And so I feel like, me personally, just giving advice to all of you, I would recommend that at the max, that what you should do is everything included, gas, maintenance, insurance, everything, that should be 15% of your income, not just the payment on the car. And my other recommendation is, especially if you're going to be purchasing a new vehicle, 20% down is going to be the route to go. And obviously this is going to get you the best approval with a lender, because all that money down is going to, the lenders are going to see a very, they're going to be like, oh, this person's committed to buying a car, and they're going to make all their payments because they have so much money held up with this vehicle. So you're going to get the lowest rate, your loan to value. And again, loan to value is something, topic for another video, but your loan to value is going to be a really good percentage. So you're going to get the best interest rate that you can for your particular credit. And that's why I'd recommend that. And obviously, so you're not upside down on the car, because that's the worst thing ever, is owing more on a vehicle than what it's worth. And especially a vehicle being a depreciating asset, you just definitely don't want to get into that situation if at all possible. Now, for me personally, and this isn't necessarily what I recommend you guys do, but it'd be awesome if everyone was able to do this budget-wise, is I'm super, super conservative with what I will spend on a car. And I know that that seems opposite from what I show on my channel, because I buy new vehicles all the time, but I just make sure that they fit within my budget. And if something doesn't fit within what I've set for myself budget-wise, I won't do it. So my rule for me personally is I take what the monthly payment's going to be for a short term. I will not finance a vehicle for more than 60 months, and then I double that payment. So if I'm going to be financing a vehicle for 60 months, then I double that payment, which would make it so that I'd get that vehicle paid off in 30 months. And what that payment is cannot exceed 10% of my income. And that includes gas, that includes maintenance, that includes everything, insurance, all that. If that amount, so the car payment times 2 plus all that stuff, if that is less than 10% and I can put 20% down on a car, then I will do it. But again, that's being very, very conservative in terms of a vehicle. And for me personally, the reason I do that is because I buy new vehicles for my other channel all the time. And so I want to make sure that I'm being, financially responsible, and that I'm not going car poor, essentially, where I'm spending so much of my money on cars that I don't have money for anything else. And so that's my advice. Like I said, super conservative. If you can do it, awesome. But my overall recommendation is try to keep that 15% of your income for automotive expenses, everything included, not just the car payment. Now, before I get all those people, they're going to say, oh, well, you should just pay cash for the car. If you have the money, great. However, most people, just budget-wise and all of that, don't have the means financially to pay cash for a car. And my other thing against paying cash for a car, especially right now with how good the economy is interest rates on auto loans are relatively low, and the interest that you can earn on accounts as simple as like a 401k or a Roth IRA are far higher than interest that is on a car loan. So for example, my interest rate on this truck right now is less than 4%, but the money that I have in my company's 401k, I'm earning close to 15% on that. So I'm in that money that I would have spent paying cash for this truck, I'm using to earn 10% more interest, over 10% more interest actually, than what I'm paying interest rate wise on this truck. So I hope that video helped all of you out with budgeting for your next vehicle. If there's anything that I can clarify, please put that down in the comment section below. And like I said in other posts on my first and main channel, I want you guys to put in the comment section below topics that you want me to talk about on this channel so I can answer all your questions. Like I said, this channel is going to be more of an open forum based channel, so a lot of the videos I'm going to be making are questions that you guys are answering. So put that in the comment section below as well. If you happen to be stopping for the first time, please subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video. So I kind of forgot to mention a schedule for the new channel. And in terms of schedule video-wise for the new channel, I'm going to try to do just every other day to start off with. And if that's something that's super manageable for me to do and I feel super comfortable with it, then I'm going to go to, like I have on the first and main channel, I'm going to be uploading videos every single day. And then I will be mentioning this on the main channel as well. I think I'm going to switch over to posting reviews 7 days a week instead of 6 days a week on the main channel. And so that's kind of going to be the shift, just, in terms of uploads and all that. But for this channel, first and foremost, for this channel, it's probably going to be every other day to start off with in terms of content. And then upload time, I'm thinking I'm going to do around 5 o'clock in the evening, but I'm not 100% on that because the other channel I upload at 11 every day. I'm not sure if I want to upload at the same time or if I want to do a different time, so I'll try to figure that out.